Have you ever sacrificed family for fame, only to discover applause can't replace your child's love? My name is Anna, and I learned this painful truth when I stood humiliated, replaced in my own daughter's heart by our humble Maid. My journey from glittering emptiness to meaningful humility was filled with tension, conflict, and moments of quiet despair. Yet, through unexpected guidance, I finally understood. Music isn't about applause, it's about love made audible. My story reveals the unique power of humility, forgiveness, and family. If my story touched your heart, please share your thoughts and where you're watching from. Like this video, subscribe, activate notifications, and share it with loved ones.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I've invited Anna, a woman who learned a powerful lesson about family, fame, and the true meaning of music. Her story deeply moved me, and I'm certain it will inspire you as well. So please join me in warmly welcoming Anna as she shares her incredible journey.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate this opportunity to share my story with you all. It hasn't been an easy journey, but it's one I'm deeply grateful for. Let me start from the very beginning. I stood under blinding stage lights, applause echoing emptily in my heart, realizing too late the price I'd paid. That night, after the concert, I returned home, eager to see my daughter, Emily, after weeks away touring. But as I walked into our luxurious home, silence greeted me coldly. No warm embraces or cheerful laughter awaited me. Suddenly, Emily appeared in the doorway, her eyes distant, resentment flickering behind her polite smile. "Mom, are you just visiting again?" Her words cut through me sharply, humiliation flooding my chest. Behind her stood our maid, Clara, gently placing a comforting hand on Emily's shoulder, a gesture I hadn't shared in months. Clara's eyes met mine briefly, silently pitying my hollow success, highlighting my absence from my daughter's life. Embarrassment burned my cheeks as I saw clearly my true reflection through my daughter's disappointed eyes. I reached out to Emily, but she turned away quietly, retreating to Clara's comforting presence instead of mine. Standing alone, surrounded by awards yet utterly humiliated, I felt tears blur the symbols of my empty accomplishments. Was this fleeting fame truly worth losing the connection to the family I'd left behind? That night, for the first time, applause haunted my dreams instead of comforting me. Determined to reconnect, I woke early next morning to prepare breakfast for Emily, hoping a familiar gesture could mend wounds. As I fumbled awkwardly around the kitchen, Clara appeared silently, her presence comforting yet painful, a reminder of my absence. Quietly, she handed me Emily's favorite bowl, understanding my desire without a word spoken. Grateful, I offered Clara a timid smile, sensing her genuine kindness despite my failures as a mother. When Emily entered, surprise flickered briefly across her face at my presence in the kitchen. Yet she remained cautious. I set the table nervously, desperate for approval, but my daughter barely acknowledged my efforts, eyes fixed firmly downward. Clara gently praised my cooking, attempting to ease the tension, her kindness amplifying my growing shame. My heart sank heavily, realizing how deeply disconnected I'd become from the simple joy of serving my family. Later, as I watched Clara comfort Emily effortlessly, my heart tightened painfully at their natural bond, so distant from my reach. Regret crept in slowly, the glamorous stage lights now seeming trivial compared to my daughter's fragile trust. In my pursuit of applause and validation, had I abandoned the greatest treasure of all? I quietly vowed to myself that morning to become the mother Emily deserved, though I knew redemption wouldn't come easily. Each attempt to rebuild our bond seemed painfully inadequate, overshadowed by the walls of resentment I'd unknowingly built. Afternoons at home felt awkward, silence hanging heavily between Emily and me, broken only by polite, distant conversation. Frustration mounted as I helplessly watched Clara effortlessly share jokes and secrets with my daughter. One afternoon, desperately attempting conversation, I asked Emily about school. She answered quietly, eyes still avoiding mine. When Clara entered shortly after, Emily's face brightened instantly, sparking an envy deep within me, mingled with despair. I felt replaced, irrelevant, painfully realizing that in my pursuit of fame, I'd forfeited my role as a nurturing mother. Unable to express my frustration openly, I retreated silently to my piano room, seeking solace where I once found applause. But music now echoed emptily, notes mocking my loneliness, amplifying my silent isolation rather than soothing it. As tears flowed quietly, a gentle knock interrupted. Clara softly entered, silently placing tea beside me, her eyes filled with quiet understanding. Her simple act of kindness pierced through my defensive pride, forcing me to confront my envy and regret openly. In that humbling moment, I recognized my own failure, clearly seeing the hollow pursuit of fame I'd so recklessly chosen. Was it possible to regain the love and trust I'd traded for fleeting applause? Days passed slowly, every attempt at closeness ending awkwardly, increasing my emotional isolation at home. Determined, I decided to surprise Emily with tickets to a concert of her favorite artist, believing music could bridge our gap. Excitement briefly flashed in Emily's eyes upon seeing the tickets, hope flickering gently within me. But disappointment quickly replaced excitement as she hesitated, softly replying she'd already planned an outing with Clara. My chest tightened sharply, humiliation washing over me again. Rejected in favor of our maid's comforting company. Attempting to hide my hurt, I forced a strained smile, telling her gently to enjoy her time while silently suffering inside. Alone that evening, concert tickets untouched, I sat painfully aware how distant I'd grown from my daughter's heart. Quietly, I admitted to myself that the fault was solely mine. My absence had driven Emily toward the consistent care Clara offered. Frustration burned hotly within me, both at myself and unfairly toward Clara, jealousy clouding my rational thoughts. Yet deep within, a quieter voice reminded me softly, "You cannot blame others for the choices you made." The weight of my mistakes pressed heavily upon me, clarity forcing me to see the harsh reality of my lost priorities. I knew, deep down, regaining Emily's trust would demand far more humility and sacrifice than I'd yet been willing to give. One evening, feeling particularly lost, I wandered quietly through the house, my footsteps echoing emptily in the silence. Passing Emily's room, I paused at the soft sound of her laughter, my heart quickening hopefully at the rare sound. Peering carefully inside, my heart sank again, witnessing Emily joyfully singing alongside Clara, both deeply immersed in music. My daughter's eyes sparkled genuinely, a brightness I'd longed to inspire, yet had utterly failed to cultivate. Jealousy surged again, mixed painfully with admiration, clearly seeing the true bond that genuine care and presence had built. Yet, as I watched longer, something deeper moved within me, recognizing clearly the authenticity Clara shared through music. She sang softly, eyes closed, completely free of vanity or ego, radiating pure joy, exactly what my music had lacked. In that moment, a painful yet profound realization filled me. The music I'd chased for fame was empty, devoid of heart. Clara embodied what I'd forgotten. Music's true purpose was connection, healing, love, never applause or validation. This revelation humbled me powerfully, shifting my entire perspective, challenging everything I'd selfishly built. Quietly retreating from their intimate moment, tears silently falling, I vowed to rediscover music's genuine meaning, guided by humility. Little did I realize, this quiet revelation was just the beginning of the transformation awaiting my humbled heart. Determined to rediscover the heart of music, I quietly stepped away from the spotlight, canceling performances and tours. Initially, shock rippled through my agents and fans, unable to grasp why I'd abandoned glittering stages for solitude. But deep inside, I knew my priority now wasn't applause or fame. It was the fragile bond with Emily I'd nearly destroyed. Every morning, instead of rehearsals, I spent quiet moments at home, hoping to rebuild trust through gentle consistency. Yet each interaction felt strained. Emily, still hesitant, unsure of my sincerity after years of empty promises. I watched Clara closely, admiring how effortlessly her simple acts of kindness fostered deep emotional bonds. Recognizing humility as key, I found myself approaching Clara softly, quietly asking for guidance, a plea I'd never imagined making. Her gentle eyes widened slightly, clearly surprised, yet filled with quiet compassion and genuine willingness to help. "Music isn't just notes or applause," she explained softly, smiling gently. "It's about creating harmony within the hearts of those you love." Her words resonated profoundly, sparking a fresh determination within me to relearn music as a language of connection. Each passing day, guided quietly by Clara's patient wisdom, I slowly began to uncover melodies that spoke deeper truths. Could this newfound sincerity truly bridge the gap my pride and ambition had created? Each evening, I softly played the piano, allowing music to express the emotions words couldn't convey. Initially, Emily remained distant, listening secretly from afar, uncertainty clearly visible in her cautious eyes. One quiet night, as my music gently filled the empty hallways, I noticed Emily lingering hesitantly near the doorway. Heart quickening, I continued playing softly, my melody expressing the sincere remorse and longing my voice struggled to say. Slowly, Emily stepped closer, eyes wide and curious, quietly captivated by the gentle sincerity of my music. Tears quietly filled my eyes, feeling her cautiously approach, sensing for the first time a faint possibility of reconciliation. As my final notes softly echoed into silence, Emily whispered gently, almost inaudibly, "That was beautiful, Mom." Gratitude surged powerfully within me, her simple acknowledgement healing wounds I'd long believed irreparable. I quietly thanked her, careful not to overwhelm the fragile moment, deeply aware of how precious and tenuous it was. That night, hope finally began replacing regret, each note now infused with humility, sincerity, and love. Yet I knew clearly that true healing required patience, perseverance, and consistent humility far beyond this moment. But this simple breakthrough offered a quiet reassurance that redemption was, at last, within reach. Days evolved slowly into weeks, each evening of shared music gently strengthening the fragile bond Emily and I had begun rebuilding. With Clara's supportive presence guiding quietly in the background, I humbly learned how genuine connections are nurtured. I found new joy in teaching Emily the piano, sharing gentle laughter and playful mistakes that built precious trust between us. Watching her eyes sparkle openly again, my heart swelled with warmth I hadn't experienced in years, a genuine, unselfish happiness. Still, at times, old memories of applause haunted me briefly, reminding me of the false validation I'd chased desperately. But each heartfelt moment, spent quietly beside Emily, quickly erased those shadows, affirming the wisdom of this quieter path. One evening, Emily timidly invited me to a school performance, her voice filled with cautious hope. I eagerly accepted, heart pounding softly with gratitude, knowing clearly how significant this invitation truly was. Sitting among parents in the modest school hall, I felt no fame or spotlight, only quiet pride, genuine and deep. Emily's performance moved me profoundly, her music filled with sincere emotion, resonating directly from her heart. Witnessing this pure moment, my soul finally understood Clara's profound wisdom about music's deeper meaning. I silently promised myself never again to trade genuine connection for fleeting applause. As my bond with Emily strengthened gently, my public image faded steadily into obscurity, yet I felt no regret. Instead, gratitude filled my heart daily, realizing the deeper joy and purpose I'd discovered in quiet humility. One afternoon, Clara softly approached me, mentioning a local charity event seeking musical volunteers. Without hesitation, I eagerly agreed, realizing music now held greater meaning when offered freely, without expectation. Performing at the modest event, I felt a surprising emotional freedom I'd never experienced under bright stage lights. As my final notes faded gently, heartfelt applause from the small audience touched me deeply, authentic and pure. That evening, Emily approached shyly, eyes filled with gentle pride, whispering softly, "I'm proud of you, Mom." My heart swelled powerfully, realizing this simple, genuine praise outweighed any standing ovation I'd previously received. Quietly thanking Clara afterward, I confessed humbly how profoundly her wisdom had reshaped my entire life. She smiled gently, replying simply, "You discovered the music in your heart. That was always the real goal." Walking home quietly with Emily, our shared laughter echoing gently through empty streets, I knew clearly the profound truth of Clara's words. Yet, my heart sensed quietly this emotional journey held deeper surprises still ahead. One evening, sorting quietly through old belongings, I discovered a faded diary from my youth, tucked secretly in a dusty drawer. Curious, I gently opened its worn pages, eyes widening slowly at the innocent dreams I'd scribbled decades earlier. Each page overflowed with simple, heartfelt aspirations: family, love, genuine joy, far from the fame I later pursued. My younger self had known clearly what mattered deeply, long before ambition and applause clouded my vision. Reading these honest reflections brought tears quietly to my eyes, regretful yet grateful for the reminder of who I'd once been. Among the entries, a small note stood out vividly. "Music connects hearts, heals wounds, brings family close." My breath caught sharply, recognizing clearly how deeply I'd strayed from this pure, youthful wisdom. Sharing this discovery quietly with Emily, her eyes widened softly with gentle surprise, deeply moved by the sincere simplicity. That night, sitting closely together, we composed a new melody inspired by these rediscovered truths, our song of reconnection. As we played softly, Emily whispered gently, "This feels like us, Mom, finally." Gratitude filled me deeply, profoundly aware of this unexpected blessing, my youthful self gently guiding me home. Yet, little did I realize, the greatest revelation and my hardest emotional test still awaited quietly in the shadows ahead. Weeks passed quietly, our evenings filled with gentle melodies, slowly mending our fragile bond. One evening, Clara joined us in the music room, her presence quiet yet powerful, offering gentle support as always. Curiously, I invited her to share a song of her own, wanting to truly understand the roots of her humble wisdom. Surprised, yet pleased, she nodded, stepping softly toward the piano with dignified grace, her fingers gently caressing the keys. As she sang, her voice flowed quietly, raw, tender, and heartbreakingly sincere, every note vibrating with quiet resilience. Tears blurred my eyes, deeply moved by the pure, unpretentious beauty of Clara's music, untouched by ego or desire for praise. Beside me, Emily listened intently, equally captivated, both of us profoundly affected by Clara's genuine emotional expression. After finishing softly, Clara shared gently, "Music saved me in dark times, taught me that love, not applause, is its true reward." Her words quietly echoed within me, a powerful reinforcement of the journey I'd undertaken, returning to music's sincere roots. As we silently embraced, gratitude filled me, thankful beyond measure that fate had brought Clara into our lives. Still, quietly within, I sensed a growing apprehension, a feeling that deeper emotional tests awaited me ahead. Could I truly maintain this newfound humility if fame called once again? Just days later, my quiet fears materialized clearly. An unexpected phone call shattered my peaceful routine. My former manager informed me, breathlessly excited, of an incredible opportunity, a prestigious music award nomination. Stunned, my heart raced, pride and ambition momentarily reigniting, tempting my fragile resolve. The allure of returning to glittering stages, lavish applause, and global recognition surged powerfully within me. Yet, my heart ached immediately, knowing clearly the devastating price I'd paid previously, nearly losing Emily's love forever. Conflicted, I confided softly in Clara, sharing openly my fears, doubts, and the lingering temptation fame still held. Her gentle eyes regarded me warmly, quietly whispering profound wisdom. "Only you can choose the melody of your heart." Her words pierced gently, resonating deeply within my soul, forcing me to confront honestly my true priorities. That night, I sat quietly beside Emily, watching her sleep peacefully, realizing clearly no applause could ever match this precious bond. Holding her hand softly, I silently resolved to reject the empty validation fame promised, determined to remain faithful to our newfound connection. But deep down, uncertainty lingered quietly. Could I truly overcome my ambition's powerful grip this final time? I knew clearly this emotional battle had just begun, testing my sincerity, humility, and true commitment. Days later, the news spread quickly, media outlets questioning openly my absence from public life, and now my refusal of this prestigious award nomination. Pressure mounted rapidly, critics labeling my decision foolish, friends expressing open disbelief at abandoning such an opportunity. Yet each criticism quietly strengthened my resolve, affirming clearly I'd chosen wisely, sacrificing fleeting acclaim for genuine connection. However, amidst this turmoil, Emily's quiet pride and gentle smiles reassured me consistently of the sincerity of my choice. Clara, ever supportive, reminded me softly each day of music's true purpose: love, healing, genuine connection, not public praise. Together, we composed new songs, simple melodies reflecting deep gratitude, humility, and our strengthened family bond. Strangely, music critics began highlighting this radical change positively, noting an authentic emotional depth absent from my earlier works. Still, beneath public acknowledgement, deeper satisfaction filled me, the private joy of quietly rebuilding what fame nearly destroyed. Unexpectedly, I discovered that sincerity, humility, and genuine love resonated more powerfully than any flashy performance ever could. Yet I also understood clearly the constant vigilance required to guard against pride's subtle resurgence, quietly testing my sincerity. As weeks passed, my heart settled into calm resolve, embracing fully the quieter life chosen deliberately, authentically, and consciously. But life, ever unpredictable, quietly prepared yet another profound emotional challenge for my fragile heart. One calm afternoon, while sharing tea quietly in the garden, Clara gently placed a worn book into my hands, her eyes filled with gentle wisdom. Curious, I opened its aged pages, discovering handwritten notes on humility, love, and the profound nature of music's true purpose. "This belonged to my mother," Clara softly explained, her voice quiet, yet deeply emotional, eyes glistening gently. "She taught me music is a bridge, a humble offering of our hearts to heal and uplift others. True beauty requires no applause." Profoundly moved, I listened silently, recognizing deeply how her mother's wisdom had guided Clara's entire life. "Music isn't what we perform," Clara whispered gently. "It's who we become when we allow our hearts to guide our melodies." Her words resonated deeply, finally crystallizing clearly the emotional transformation I'd been quietly undergoing. In this gentle moment, I saw clearly my own mentor. Clara's humble, sincere wisdom had profoundly transformed my heart. My eyes welled quietly, gratitude swelling powerfully within me, realizing her humble guidance had genuinely saved me. Gently taking Clara's hands, I whispered sincerely, "You taught me the meaning of music and of life itself." She smiled softly, eyes brightening, whispering gently, "Now you must live this truth," letting humility guide every note. Her advice became my new compass, clearly illuminating the genuine path forward, free from pride's dangerous allure. Inspired profoundly by Clara's wisdom, I dedicated myself fully to quietly using music to uplift and heal others. Each weekend, Emily, Clara, and I performed gently for local nursing homes, shelters, and community centers. Music as quiet, humble service. Gone completely were flashy performances, empty applause, replaced now by genuine, heartfelt gratitude from those we touched. In their smiles, tears, and quiet expressions of gratitude, I discovered deeper fulfillment than any global recognition ever offered. One elderly woman, eyes moist, whispered softly, "Your music healed loneliness I thought permanent." Her simple words moved me profoundly, validating powerfully my choice to prioritize genuine connection over fame. Evenings spent humbly playing songs of comfort became treasured, deeply meaningful moments strengthening our family bond. Emily's laughter rang gently again, heart open, fully trusting, reaffirming clearly I'd made the right choice. Yet occasionally, moments arose quietly tempting my pride, reminding me that humility required constant, conscious vigilance. I reminded myself daily of Clara's profound wisdom, keeping my heart clearly aligned with humility, sincerity, and genuine service. As months passed gently, my soul finally felt true peace, knowing clearly the emotional healing and transformation I'd undergone. But still, deep down, a quiet awareness lingered. I sensed a powerful, unexpected twist, yet awaited, prepared carefully by fate to test my true resolve. As months passed, my family life blossomed into something truly meaningful and complete. Yet just when I believed my trials were over, fate quietly prepared an unexpected and powerful twist. One morning, a formal invitation arrived in ornate packaging, instantly catching my breath and tightening my chest. Trembling slightly, I opened it slowly. A prestigious music academy wished to honor me with a Lifetime Achievement Award. My heartbeat quickened anxiously, old desires briefly resurfacing, temptation whispering softly of past dreams and faded glory. Emily, noticing my unease, approached gently, eyes softly questioning yet supportive. Sensing the turmoil stirring within me, I shared openly my conflicted feelings, honestly admitting how deeply this recognition stirred dormant pride and insecurity. She listened quietly, wise beyond her years, gently reminding me of our journey, softly affirming the sincerity I'd embraced. "You've changed, Mom. Fame can't touch the genuine love we've built," she whispered sincerely, eyes filled with gentle pride. Her words resonated deeply, clearly reinforcing the profound truth Clara's wisdom had illuminated: music as humble service. Resolving quietly to accept this honor, not for vanity, but as a chance to openly share the humble lessons learned. Yet deep inside, I quietly feared, could I maintain humility beneath the spotlight again? On the night of the ceremony, dressed humbly yet elegantly, I stood backstage nervously, heartbeat rapid and unsure. When called forward, applause echoed loudly, stirring complex emotions: joy, anxiety, old familiar pride, battling humility within. Accepting the award, I spoke honestly, voice trembling slightly, openly sharing my journey toward humility, sincerity, and true music. As I finished speaking, applause erupted warmly, briefly comforting me, yet in that very moment, a chilling announcement interrupted abruptly. A speaker approached gravely, informing me quietly yet publicly that Clara had suddenly fallen gravely ill at home, rushed urgently to the hospital. Shock seized my heart painfully, panic surging rapidly through me, the award falling unnoticed from my hands, clattering sharply. In that instant, the applause I'd craved seemed hollow, worthless compared to Clara's genuine quiet wisdom and friendship. I rushed desperately from the stage, fame forgotten, heart frantic with fear, urgently praying Clara would survive. In the car, Emily held my hand tightly, her fearful eyes mirroring my own dread, both recognizing clearly Clara's irreplaceable presence. Arriving breathlessly at the hospital, doctors spoke gravely, their words hitting harshly, clearly revealing how fragile Clara's life had become. Sitting beside her, holding her frail hand tightly, clarity pierced painfully. Fame could never replace the sincere bonds of genuine love. I wept quietly, whispering softly, pleading gently, "Clara, you showed me true music. Please don't leave me yet." Days blurred together anxiously as we waited painfully for news, my heart heavy with helpless dread, deeply humbled again. Emily stayed quietly beside me, our bond stronger than ever, both recognizing how deeply Clara's quiet presence had shaped us. One night, emotionally drained, I softly sang beside Clara's hospital bed, gently offering her the sincere melodies she'd taught me. As my quiet notes filled the sterile room, Clara's eyelids fluttered softly, her weak smile gently acknowledging our shared music. Tears filled my eyes, relief flooding powerfully through me, gratitude profound at this miraculous, quiet moment of awakening. Clara's gentle voice, though fragile, whispered softly, "Never forget, music connects hearts, heals souls, brings true family close." Her words resonated powerfully, a gentle reminder of our emotional journey, confirming clearly the wisdom she'd patiently imparted. Holding her frail hand tightly, I promised sincerely to forever honor her lessons, carrying forward her humble, profound legacy. Doctors soon confirmed Clara's stable improvement, our hearts swelling quietly with relief, humbled again by life's fragile beauty. Returning home, I reflected deeply, profoundly aware of how powerfully Clara's humble guidance had reshaped our lives. Yet still, beneath quiet gratitude, I sensed clearly one final profound step remained, fully solidifying this transformative journey. Could I find courage enough to share openly, publicly, the humble truth I'd finally embraced? Driven by profound gratitude, I decided openly to share our entire journey, vulnerability, humility, and sincere transformation, publicly online. Initially nervous, fearing criticism, I quietly released our honest story, gently highlighting Clara's quiet wisdom and profound impact. To my surprise, overwhelming support flooded swiftly, heartfelt messages revealing countless individuals deeply inspired by our genuine journey. My sincerity touched hearts far beyond expectation, teaching clearly how powerful humility, honesty, and authentic connection truly were. Media outlets shared widely our sincere narrative, highlighting music's genuine power for emotional healing rather than mere entertainment. Clara, recovering steadily, read messages of support quietly, eyes gently glistening, softly smiling, recognizing clearly her legacy's impact. Emily proudly stood beside me, openly acknowledging her profound respect and love, reinforcing our powerful family bond. Speaking publicly at small gatherings, schools, and events, I shared quietly Clara's profound lessons, music as humble, compassionate service. Seeing quiet gratitude reflected clearly in countless eyes, I finally understood completely the true meaning of genuine applause, hearts touched sincerely. My past faded gently, replaced now by a future deeply rooted in humility, sincerity, and genuine love for family and community. Yet, my heart sensed clearly a final emotional climax approaching swiftly, testing deeply everything I'd now genuinely embraced. Could I truly fulfill Clara's legacy, remaining sincere and humble despite the world's tempting praise? Months later, invited to perform at a renowned charity concert, I stood quietly on a familiar stage, heart calm and humble. Thousands watched quietly, yet I felt no anxious pride or fearful insecurity, only sincere gratitude to share music genuinely again. As gentle melodies flowed quietly, I saw clearly Clara and Emily smiling softly in the front row, hearts openly proud, deeply supportive. My music resonated profoundly, sincerely touching hearts, carrying clearly Clara's gentle wisdom. Music as heartfelt, humble service. At the performance's climax, I spoke openly, gently sharing the emotional journey of humility and genuine connection I'd undertaken. Music isn't fame or applause, I shared sincerely, tears quietly blurring my vision. It is love, real, humble, and selfless. As applause erupted warmly, tears filled my eyes, not for praise, but gratitude that my humble truth resonated deeply. Clara nodded gently, eyes bright, confirming quietly the sincerity I'd finally embraced, acknowledging fully her humble wisdom's fulfillment. Leaving the stage quietly, my heart deeply satisfied, I knew clearly fame could never again seduce me from genuine love and sincerity. Emily embraced me warmly, whispering softly, "I'm proud of who you've become, Mom." Holding her close, I whispered quietly, genuinely, "All thanks to you and Clara, I finally found music's true meaning." Facing viewers warmly, I invited sincerely, "If my story touched you, please subscribe, and together, let's find the true melody of our hearts."